Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're gonna talk about how to design and deploy a collapse core infrastructure or architecture using Juniper Mist. Now for the intro, as the network continue to grow, simplicity and scalability become critical, right? We separate the core and aggregation layer. But in many modern deployment, especially in campus mid-size environment, a collapse core design can provide the reliability with less complexity. So, what is exactly collapse core? In simple terms, it's a network design where the core and the aggregation layer is collapsed or combined together into single layer. This is reduce the number of devices, simplifies the management, and can improve performance by minimizing the latency between the layer. Okay, with Juniper Mist, we can simplify all of this with few single clicks and filling up some forms. I'm gonna show you how easy that is. So I'm using virtual Junos in this case. I have pre-provisioned the devices over here. As you can see, we have 2 core, 4 access layer, and then let's jump right into the configuration. Alright, so first thing first, what we need to do is we need to go to organization, wired, and campus fabric. Okay, I have my site over here, Karawachi site. Okay, and then we have 3 types of campus fabric. There is a EVPN multi-homing. If you want more scale, we can choose a campus fabric core distribution where we still need the aggregation layer and also probably the service layer if you want to interconnect with the outside world, like your firewalls, your data center, your WAN router, etc. Or probably if you want to have some micro segmentation, we can use campus fabric IP close design. But in this case, because the purpose of this video is to show you how to configure the EVPN multi-homing, or what I call collapse core design. So what we need to do is click on that and then create a topology name. Let's say HO collapse core. I don't know, 01. Yep, probably, because I want to create the virtual gateway MAC address. I want Mesh to configure MAC address, virtual MAC address for my L3 gateway or interface integrated routing and bridging, or IRB, for the gateway of all the users. So okay, but for the BGP local AS, I'm gonna choose the default setting. I don't know, I have no idea what to put there. Just, you know, I actually need to plan the AS number assignment, but I don't need that. So because Mist is figuring out for me, I just make sure that this subnet DTS number is not used somewhere else. Okay, good to go. Click next, and then we just pick which device is going to be our core. Select that, and then which devices is going to be our access layer. That's it. Just click select, and then we hit continue button. And okay, probably I want to have 4 network for my fabric. Okay, the first one I'm gonna call it user. Okay, just for all the user I'm gonna use VLAN 10 for simplicity, and just pick some common subnets like this one. And for the virtual gateway, I'm gonna choose 254. Okay, so I don't want to use IPv6 in this case. Okay, user, and then I'm gonna use next one is probably voice VLAN in VLAN 20, and subnet, yep, 20, and pick 20 for my second subnets, and then create another network. I don't know, probably IoT. You can put some printer or whatever that is, CCTV in here, the subnets. Then virtual gateway. Okay, and then next one is for guests, because there might be some people coming into my office and then they ask for the internet access. I'm gonna give them the access using VLAN 40. Okay, but I want to make all of these subnets isolated, so I need to configure the VRF. Okay, so the first one is for the core. I'm gonna choose user and voice in the same VRFs. Okay, and then I'm gonna add another VRFs, let's say IoT. Okay, because all the IoT device is isolated, because you know there is a cyber security attack that that can use the IoT device to launch the attack. I want to make them separate and probably reroute it to the firewall or something. We can do that by using VRFs. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is to configure the guests, because of course I want to make them isolated, right? Okay, in this case I don't have a DHCP relay, but if I do, I can configure it here. So yep, just disable it because I don't want to enable some DHCP. Okay, the access port, we could just name it this is for port configuration ESI lag between collapse core and access switches. So I don't know how to name it, but core and access probably. Yeah, and we can also change the configuration here. This is actually the port configuration between the core and access layer, where we can enable certain VLAN that we want to trunk between the core and the access layer, something like that. And this is all the configuration that we need to put. And yep, I enable Jumbo MTU there. What kind of STP that I want to enable for the link between the core and the access, I'm just leave it by default over there. Okay, I'll let Mist do it for me. Okay, now for the configuration part. Right, so for the ESI lag, I'm gonna use this port to link my core 1 and core 2. Okay, so I'm just click it over there, link 1, and this is link 2. Okay, all good. Okay, for the aggregated interface, so between the access and core layer there will be two aggregated link. One link is going from, let's say, access 1 to core 1, and then from access 2 to core 2. There will be forming multi-chassis interchannel or multi-chassis link aggregation, MC lag, or whatever that is, but in this case we are using ESI lag, so it is the same one but using the EVPN-VXLAN protocol type 1. So we are both core collapse core we're going to advertise the type 1 routes EVPN for the EVPN, so they will understand their domain. Okay. So that's what we're going to do, so I'll leave it by default. So going to access 1, this port is going to connect to, I don't know, yeah, something like that. uh, 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 collapse core switch, is it? Okay, so I'm just going to I'm going to connect to that one, that one, that one. Port type, just telling the port type over there. Just follow the instruction, as easy as you can imagine. Okay, just carefully pick those link over there. Good, but this one hasn't been selected to connect to the core. I don't know how to do that, but I think I need to connect to the access. Okay, so I pick all of that link, and then in port 1 I'm going to link it to access 1. Port 2 I'm going to link it to access 2. Port 3 I'm going to link it to access 3. Port 4 access 4. Okay, I'm just picking the link which one to connect to the collapse core from the access previously. So in this case I'm selecting which port connecting to what device. Okay, access 3 and then 4 link to access 4. Good. Now we can click the continue button over here, click it, and then as you can see, when we click this guy, it show you what VLAN ID is allowed between those core and the access, and also which port that is connected from which device. For example, I have this guy is connected to this port. Okay, pretty easy, right? Now also you can see there. Alright, that's it. Configure our fabric. Can you imagine how easy that is? Click apply change, then confirm, wait for the config to be applied. Okay, we can close it and verify it later. Okay, click it. As you can see, we can click on this guy, wait for it so that it can turn green after this. Okay, you can view the configuration, what we have done previously, then just do all the basic things. I'm not pausing the video so you can know, you guys can know what's the exact process of this. I'm still waiting for this device to be adjacent. After all the BGP neighbor has been established between these two guys, and the trunk link, the multi-chassis ether channel between these two guys, all these guys from the collapse to the access. After all that is up, we can see all of this switch will turn into green or OK state. Okay, still wait for that to happen. Meanwhile, I'm gonna click my console and see what's the configuration that has been pushed from Mist to the devices. You can see all this NTP server config, it has been pre-configured. So as you can see here, all of this is enabled by those all the VLANs, all the trunk link between this guy. So yep, has been established. So let's see, run show BGP summary. As you can see, I have all of my routing instance up and running. The most important thing that I want to see is this guy. Now run show route BGP EVPN.0. Run show route. I forgot to add some table there. So as you can see here, we have type 1 routes, which is our ESI routes or auto discovery route types to advertise my ESI. As you can see, we also got all of that information from type 2, where it sent the MAC address information, MAC IP information. This is the route distinguisher, this is the VNI ID. I don't put any VNI ID, the switch, the Mist, Juniper Mist will automatically provision all of that things for us. Okay, now this MAC address information has been distributed or advertised by both of this switch and also the type 5 routes, even though we are not configured any routes yet, but this is just telling you that we have this type 5 routes /24 that has been configured. So using this VNI ID, will going to this 2 next hop, which is the other guy's IP address, the core 2, because we have 2 links. As you can see here, show BGP summary, we have one neighbor through this loopback, and this is the physical link because all the physical interface will have those IP address. Okay, show interface, as you can see there, has this own IP address, and also in this port it has same IP address. And when we take a look at this loopback IP, where all the magic happened, where all the loopback BGP EVPN peering has been done, you can see that over there. Run show, I forgot what the interface numbering are. Load. Now let's figure it out. So run show, sorry, brain fart. Show interface ters, I believe that's the right one. Yep, as you can see over here, we have the VTAP interface, which is telling us that the switch is ready to forward the traffic through the EVPN tunnel, VXLAN tunnel, not EVPN, because EVPN is the control plane. Yeah, okay, now let's say this is where all the loopback peering has been happening. So we are peering to .2. Run show BGP summary. As you can see there, we have this guy 254.2 and the local address is this guy. So basically these 2 devices, core 1 and core 2, now we can starting to see that the BGP neighbor has been up, as you can see there. So we have 2 routes between this guy, between core 1 and core 2, using the physical interface to advertise the loopback address, and then the loopback address will perform the EVPN peer between each other, and then so that we can form EVPN VXLAN or VXLAN channel between these 2 guys. Okay, now let's make sure if we have run show HTTP interface, make sure if we have all the state is up. Good, we have it in core 1. What about core 2? Okay, good. Access layer, we have it as well over there, right? GE000 and GE001. So basically all the state has been good. Now they have forming all of the configuration that looks complex because we are using EVPN-VXLAN. And if you want to see the configuration, what has been pushed by the Mist to the switch. So this is the event option. As you can see here, we are creating one routing instance for each VRFs, because you can see this is the L3 or type 5 routing instance or type 5 EVPN routes that we have generated. So as you can see that this is for the type 5 and also for the type 2. I also wondering where that is. So as you can see here, the routing instance EVPN VS or virtual switch, I guess, yep, which is configured with the encapsulation of VXLAN, and also I don't know, is this using VLAN aware or VLAN base or bundle? I'm not sure. I need to find that out. It looks like we don't use it. Okay, yep, the instance type is virtual switch. Okay, we are not using a MAC VRFs. That is interesting. So we are using a virtual switch, which is going to be a virtual switch to host all of these VLANs. Okay, this is how we design it. Okay, now we extend all of the VNI listed here. So this is where we perform all of the translation between VLAN to VNI. As you can see, VLAN 40 is translated to 10040, and 30 is translated to this VNI, and etc. So that's it. So all of this configuration has been generated. As you can see there's an export. So you don't have to configure all of this manually. Mist will perform it for you. Now I want to see where is the ESI configuration. So ESI configuration is just some mechanism that in EVPN-VXLAN we can advertise type 1 attribute. That means EVPN type 1, you advertise what segment in your link. So what are the sub segment in those links? For example, in this case we have AE0, interface aggregated Ethernet 0, have this ESI ID, which is 10 bits, I think, yeah, 10 bits of ESI ID. So you define it manually for each individual aggregated interface. Okay, so that means this guy will advertise the ESI type 1 over here to tell that this access switch will this link will have the ESI ID of this number. Okay, sorry, this number. Okay, so and also this one will also have the same number. So both switch will know that these two links are connected to the same host, so that we can perform the load balancing using link aggregation or LACP. Okay, that's how they did it. That's how they can understand each other, by advertising this ESI link, so that the other guys will understand that those links or those segment is connected to the same host. I hope it was clear. Yep. So that's what happened when we do the campus fabric. So the conclusion is the collapse core is running EVPN-VXLAN. Okay, and the access layer is running L2 switch only, so you can connect the hosts over there, right? So I'm gonna give you some example. Okay, this is for you to enable the excuse me, if you want to enable the enable the campus fabric deployment only. But next time you want to configure this link, you may not be able to configure it in here, because you need to configure it on the switch level, or under this switch template, or under this switch configuration. For example, for this template, I'm gonna apply the access config for certain port range. Okay, so for example, I'm gonna create some profile. Let's say access VLAN 10. Then I'm gonna put it I don't want to make that confusing, because for the VLAN numbering I'm gonna just users, something like that. Access users. Okay, the port is enabled, the mode is access. So yep, that's it. I want to enable, I don't know, node porter still want to put STPH and BPD guard. Okay, we can enable it, but in this case I don't want to. Usually when you connect to end device, you enable that. Okay, we click that, and then we add another one. Probably, I don't know what's the naming before. I think it's access printers. Okay, and then access VLAN 20. Sorry, not printers, voice. Okay, I'm sorry, I think we need to put that here, but anyway, we don't want to configure it. Okay, I want to continue to the IoT access IoT, and then put it the VLAN 30 access 30. Okay, good. Yep, that's it. Add another profile, access requests, and then this one, click it. That's it. We hit the save button. We enable all the VLANs, all the port profile that we are going to use later time. Okay, now this is all the magic happen. Okay, let's see. I keep saying magic, I don't know why. Okay, now I'm going to, I don't know, cam host. This one, this is connected to access 1 port 2. Okay, access 1, this is connected to port 2, so I'm gonna add the configuration over there. I'm gonna assign VLAN 10. I'm gonna save the config. That's it. Click it again, make sure it has been pushed. Okay, and then I'm gonna click save and make sure that this is the right one, the right profile. Okay, I'm gonna hit save over there, and then I'm going to come back to configure my okay, I'm gonna access the cam host 11, I think. Yes, is it cam host 11? Yep, that's right. So I'm gonna enter to that, then click admin. I don't know what is the password, sorry guys. I think it's Ubuntu. Okay, yep. Then sudo, I'm gonna change the config. Usually like to do it like this. I don't know if you guys have some preference or something. ls, yep. And then I configure the IP address. I have the template actually. So 192.168.10.11/24, 192.168.10.1. okay, that's it. I'm gonna cat over there. Yep, net plan apply, because I'm too tired to put the sudo command all over there, so I need this command. So IPA, now let's ping it, ping the gateway 10.1. oh sorry, not .1, 254. Yep, so I need to change it. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry. Yep, sometimes I'm using .1, sometimes I'm using .254. net plan apply again. Okay, IPA. So my MAC address is 2C7E. Okay, now let's see. Run show route table bgp.evpn.0. Gonna grab it. Let's see. Yep, we have it. Type 2 routes, MAC IP routes advertisement, which is telling this is type 2 routes from this route distinguisher. This is the core 1, this is the core 2, and this is the VNI ID, and this is the MAC address, and this is the actual IP which I have configured on those guys over there. So yep, that's it. Now let's configure the second host. I don't know, probably we can do it next time to leak the routes through the firewall between VRFs. Okay, but for now we have all this information, right? So I want to test. Let's see if we have some wanna configure it in the site level again, and then I'm gonna put some access voice. Yep. Okay, because I don't have IP phone here, so I'm gonna use another host to simulate the communication between the VRFs. Between the hosts in the same VRFs. That's what I'm trying to tell. Yes, 20.254. Okay, I'm gonna apply it to this guy. Cam host 12. Yep, is connected to the same switch port 3. Okay, I've configured it right over there. Yep, access mode, and then switches. I always mispress those buttons. Yep, there you go. And then I'm gonna click port 3, add port configuration. Pretty easy. So I can do this actually in Mist. You can click this guy, click this guy, click this guy, and then configure the same port for all of that ports. So we can do range, we can do this if you want to apply multiple config to a ports, but in this case I don't want to, because I only apply it to one port. And then yep, save it. And then I'm gonna configure the host. Okay, quit, and then can 12. There you go. Ubuntu pass 0. Yep. Okay, pass. Yep, you go. Now sudo min I cd headset royal net plan, and then I put it there. Yep, net plan apply. There you go. I'm gonna ping it, the gateway 20.254. Can we do that? Yes, we can. Can we ping another gateway? Yes, we can. Can we ping another host? Yes, we can. That's it. Now let's see in the core 3 if we have received this IP address. IPA. Yep. Let's see if we have these records of MAC address in this guy. In the core switch. There you go. We have it. This is the route distinguisher, the VNI ID, and we have the MAC address. We also have the MAC IP binding over there. If you want to do this, run show EVPN. I forgot. Ethernet option, Ethernet switching, VXLAN, tunnel endpoint remote. We can see that we have formed. I forgot to show you this one, but this is just the way we are looking. Is there any tunnel? What is the VNI ID that they are building between core 1 and core 2? Okay, yep, there you go. Now let's run show EVPN database. Let's see. Yes, There we go. We have all of this information. This guy is the active sources. You can see there. What is this guy? What is this guy? It has the same, you can see, has the same value even though they are connected to the different hosts. It's telling you the VPN table will map the IP address of this guy and the MAC address with this ESI. So that means when the source, it detects the source is coming from this guy, this ESI ID, this is the ESI ID, it will understand where to send the traffic, which is it will going to the AE interface 0. Okay, you can see that show interface AE0, I don't know. Yep, there you go. This is it. This is the VXLAN ESI ID, so that I mentioned previously. That's it. I think that's how easy to build the campus fabric using Juniper Mist, and I have walked through the detail, a little bit of concept of EVPN. I hope this is helpful. See you next time. Bye bye.